the next few years, most dealerships you know will disappear. But there's one thing they can do to survive. Whether you're looking to save your business, buy a new car at a discount, or just understand the current industry state, this video might be for you. Many of you know the story of Blockbuster. The company went bankrupt in 2003 after underestimating its main rival, Netflix. Blockbuster had all the resources it needed to crush Netflix, but lacked ambition. That's how a company with 9,000 stores worldwide disappeared overnight. Netflix used its capital to develop an algorithm predicting movie user ratings. This innovation and adaptation allowed it to change the course of the industry. Blockbuster tried to respond by forgiving all late fees, resulting in an additional $200 million loss. They also bought MovieLink, an online platform for downloading movies. Unfortunately, they didn't make a big enough deal of it. And now, the same story is about to repeat itself with car dealerships. Blockbuster didn't understand the potential of technology. But guess what? Most traditional businesses don't either. This colossal mistake could drive millions of companies out of business. Think of the money dealerships could save in sales commissions by employing AI. And yet, they are passing up this golden opportunity, waiting for a competitor to beat them. But they need to take advantage of any opportunity that comes their way. It's not a matter of convenience, it's a matter of necessity. You see, many people think that dealerships don't lose money, but believe me, they lose more than you realize. Many dealers increased inventories during the pandemic due to high demand and vehicle shortages. But because of economic changes and falling demand, their inventories are now overstocked. And excessive inflation and high living costs in countries like Canada have brutally reduced consumers' purchasing power. It's impossible to sell a car to a family that can't afford to eat. Rising interest rates have made borrowing more expensive for consumers, resulting in higher monthly payments for finance cars. This has led to an unprecedented decline in vehicle demand, as fewer people can afford to buy new or used cars at current rates. As a result, dealers must compete more than ever to sell to the small population segment that can afford to finance a vehicle. But even when they get a sale, they make less money than they used to. You may have noticed that car prices have been falling. This is due to the law of supply and demand. If many people want to buy something scarce, its price goes up. If few people want to buy something plentiful, prices go down. As a result, dealers who bought inventory at high prices are faced with the difficult task of selling their vehicles at much lower prices than they intended to sell them for, which has forced them to take significant financial losses. Many dealers also use floor plans to finance their inventory. However, rising interest rates have also increased the cost of holding these inventories. This creates additional financial pressure for dealers who must sell their cars quickly to avoid accruing higher interest rates. One key lesson from this crisis is that we must innovate while things are going well to survive when times get tough. Business owners often believe that everything will stay the same, that sales will keep coming in, people will keep visiting their website, and the wind will keep blowing in their favor. But history has taught me that the world never waits for us to adapt. Every time we stand idly by, even a slight change in economic policy can bankrupt us. Some might call this the worst time to own a car dealership, but I see it differently, because where there is a crisis, there is also an opportunity. I come across a lot of dealership owners that feel like they're immune to disruption because the way they've been doing things for the last 15, 20 years has been working. But that's just like the taxi driver that wasn't taking the Uber driver seriously. Imagine that the last holiday that you were closed and your employees didn't work, your competitor had all these automations and they were able to do 5, 6, 10 deals on autopilot with AI agents working 24/7, speaking different languages, and you were closed and you missed out on that opportunity. And this is happening all the time. So it's important that you watch this video and understand that if you want to stay in business in the next 5, 10, 15 years, you need to embrace the changes that are happening. Don't be like those blockbuster corporate executives. You have to be smart and stay ahead. If you are a young freelancer and you get a dealership to increase its sales, for example, by designing a professional website, you will see the results reflected in your bank account. However, owning a dealership right now gives you a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be your competition. There are hundreds of cases of companies that succeeded amid the worst economic crises, such as Disney during the Great Depression. This teaches us that great minds do not let their environment condition their success. They don't think like Blockbuster, they think like Netflix. If auto dealers intend to survive, they must be willing to do things they have never done before. They can't keep selling the same way and pretend to get different results. They need to adapt to the social context. For example, in the 1970s, the oil crisis led to a demand for fuel-efficient cars. As a result, automakers across Europe began to introduce compact models and were rewarded for it. Ford broke the sales record set by the 1965 Mustang with the Ford Fiesta. Now that people have trouble financing a vehicle, it's time to devise new strategies to facilitate that financing and study what your typical customers are doing. What kind of vehicles are they buying? How do they pay for them? And through what medium do they usually find you? This brings us to the next topic in this video, the lack of online presence. Well, I have you here. It takes a lot of time to make these videos. And these are topics that I find very interesting, they're thought-provoking, and all I'm asking from you is to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Most importantly, tell me in the comments what you liked about this video and what topics you'd like me to discuss. Let's get back to it. Believe it or not, many car dealerships have yet to go digital. However, a company called Carvana has been taking advantage of this situation. While most dealers still value face-to-face sales too much, Carvana has shown that there is a smarter way to do business. The company is considered the fastest growing online used car dealership in the United States. It is famous for its multi-story glass tower car vending machines, and they are one of the youngest companies to be added to the Fortune 500. In March 2020, Carvana introduced contactless delivery and pickup in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Even though the pandemic stopped, Carvana continues to outsell its competitors. They have enabled consumers to purchase more conveniently and efficiently, causing traditional dealerships to struggle to stay relevant in an increasingly digital world. In other words, they have become the Netflix of their industry by being more ambitious than their competitors. You may think I'm exaggerating when I say that a single company can change an industry, but think briefly about what happened with Uber and cab drivers or Airbnb and hotels. The world is changing and it doesn't wait for our approval. It is well known that customers prefer digital solutions. They are more convenient and less time-consuming than going to a physical store and talking to a sales agent. The pandemic helped reinforce this trend, making online sales much more relevant. We are moving into a fully digital age. Most of the jobs we know today will eventually disappear or evolve. Think about it. Why use a stick to dig when you can use a shovel or an excavator? And why train a laborer when you can employ a robot that doesn't sleep or make mistakes? At CRM Genius, we have revolutionized the sales operations of many automotive dealerships by implementing these concepts. We have implemented state-of-the-art technology, including artificial intelligence, in an industry that has been underserved for far too long. This helped us exponentially increase sales for some of our clients, allowing closers to focus on closing more deals. And guess what? Our technology has always been available to everyone, yet no one has bothered to understand or learn how to use it. But now that the industry is changing, I've noticed that more and more people are looking to us to learn how to do what they do better. That's why we started offering training and ongoing sales management for SDRs on our website. You'll find the link in the description. This brief advertisement for my business is a glimpse of what is coming in the next few decades. We are experiencing more change in a century than we have experienced in a millennium of our history. Think of a world where you can get a loan to buy a car or a house without interacting with a bank agent, or where an AI can instantly diagnose your illness. ChatGPT and Gemini are just the tip of the iceberg of what's coming. It may mean auto dealerships are going to die, but in my opinion, they will evolve into something better. The real question is, will you be the Blockbuster or the Netflix of this story?